there is a big institution that is a movement in Kenya that was started by people living in Kibera slum. And it became a hope, right? Here, if you kill a chokora, if you kill somebody from Kibera, story kwisha. But if you kill a child from Udaiga, Karen, story on the paper. That's what I believe the leadership is. By listening to those people who have been neglected. If you listen to them, they have the solutions. They have the answers.
Welcome to the Books Cafe, your literature program on KBC English Service. I'm your host, Khaenga O'Okwemba. The Books Cafe is a cutting-edge program in the world of literature where we talk to writers and explore contemporary literary issues. And today we have a special program with the author of this wonderful memoir, Me Unafraid, Kennedy Odede, the book that was co-authored with his wife, Jessica Posner. It's the story of a young boy who grew up in the slums of Kibra, survived the street life, and he lived to tell the story, like Gabriel Garcia Marquez would say in his memoir, Living to Tell the Tale. Kennedy Odede lived to tell the tale of the lives in Kibra. Kennedy, welcome onto the Books Cafe.
Thank you so much for having me, my brother O'Okwemba. Thank you.
Great. Now, you know, when guests come onto this program, the first thing that you want to do is to know something about them. You know, where they were born, the things they remember about their childhood. So let's begin from there. Kennedy Odede, when and where was he born?
Good. So Kennedy has a very complicated life, but people see me as from Kibera, mm-hmm. But we came to Kibera from Rarieda, you know, a place called Yoma. So I came here when I was not yet 1 year old. So honestly, my eyes were open in the land of Kibera, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. So that's what I have lots of memory. Mm-hmm. That's what I see as a home.
That's your home.
Yeah, that's my place.
Yes, and when you talk about your story is a very complicated story.
Yeah.
Complicated also, but also a story of inspiration.
Yes.
Because,
thank you.
Yeah, you turned that story into what it is today, and you never wish any child to go through what you went through, and
yes.
That's why you do the things that you do.
Yes.
So your mother gave birth to you when
she was only 15 years old.
She was very young.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And that was really tough. And normally people come with their heads, right? Mm-hmm. So mine was interesting. So if I hear my story, I'm like, wow, this trouble started because I came with the legs, and one leg did not want to come out, and it was a big fight, right, to make me come out. And it's as if I sense the world is full of struggle and and I'm gonna go through a lot in life. So, but with no doctor, I was able to come out. So I think from the beginning, I have really gone through a lot. Yeah. So honestly, I had to have what I call you have to have hope sometimes, you know, because everything is looking dark and tough in your life. So you either sit there, I'm from a poor family, I have no hope, or you have to stand up and start moving on. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it is actually that kind of birth, a birth that also informs how you are given the names.
Yes, Kennedy, yes.
Yeah. The name Kennedy Odede.
Yes.
So let's go step by step. So why were you called Kennedy?
So so I think that was called after, you remember J.F. Kennedy, the American president. The name was really popular as a connection to Africa. And then when I was born, there was rain, right? So despite all those challenges, you can tell there's real rain in our area. Mm-hmm. And the elders, they all decided to give me that name. Yeah.
Odede.
Oh, yes.
Odede.
Yes.
But I'm also told that Odede means when you are born during the locusts.
Yeah, which means what? That's a blessing, right?
And you have another name that you don't use, Awiti. Yes.
Oh, I don't use much. It's there. Yes. Yes.
Again, it has a meaning.
Yeah, which means somebody who has been thrown away a little bit, right? In in Luo culture, you can find that. Yes. So kids, yeah. So in some ways, you can be traditionally you can be thrown and then taken back again to make the evil spirits to go away. I don't want to go into deep into it, right? Yes. So that's what Owiti mean. Nyathimo Owiti. You get it? So you confuse the spirits. Culture.
It's very now. So your mother gave birth to you when she was that young, and then from there you moved from Nyanza.
No, so that
is Siaya County.
Yes. So what happened is that this is very interesting, and for people to know. So what happened is still happen up to now. So when you live in the village and you hear the story of Nairobi City, KICC, I think that was something that was really powerful. Those who have come to Nairobi for when they were young, you see that and you think this is life. Yeah. So they moved to the city looking for what? For job, right? Because Nairobi look like Nairobi. It's a beautiful name, Nairobi City, right? And then it's kind of hidden. And honestly, it's very interesting because now that I live this another life, you cannot know there's Kibera. You go to Java, you go to KCC, you go to Urupak. I think things are hidden, right? And then yet it is the machinery that is running the city. Are we together? Is Madare, is Kawangware, is Korokocho. But it's hidden. So when you hear people in Nairobi, you think, so they came, the way it happened that then you get to there. You have to find a community member who, you don't just move like that. Somebody who live in Nairobi before you, like, naenda uko Nairobi, even not Kibera, Nairobi. Then you find yourself into the reality, like, wow, here there's nothing to farm. You live next to the sewage, and that's the life that I start inheriting. Right? You know, and that tough life. And you have to say, even, I remember, now things are better. I remember people used to even live in nylons. Yeah. It's a bit of change, my friend. Yeah. Even I went to see some of my cousins in Korokocho, and I remember they were living in boxes, right? So things happened. So we were coming to, I call it, it's also, honestly, there's a word for it. I think it's a climate refugee. Why do you want to leave your village? Because drought. Are we together? So you can't plant anymore. Things. So I think before people could feel climate change, they didn't know what to do with it. So people are now moving. And if you see people who come to Kibera, honestly, and Madare, you find their history, they could be doing farming, man. But things are not working. So they're looking for opportunities. Yet, for me, is a village. It looks, it's like a glass, it's like a mirror. You think there is something in Nairobi, you go to Nairobi,
there's nothing.
My friend, that's why my life chapter started now. Now in this Kibera place, right? My family very poor, right? And then I have to start surviving. You know, you can't go to school, you guys are so poor, and then you will end up finding other ways of surviving. Yes, which happened to any kid. Also to add something on this, which is something that I have issues with, and I don't think, personally, that my story is great or amazing. I'll be honest with you. Okay? I see people, I would call their names, who have told us from this poverty, right? But I think what is different is a covenant I made, seriously, with my God. That can I be an instrument to bring change? I cannot go through all this life for Khaenga O'Okwemba to be rich, for Khaenga O'Okwemba to be famous. I'm like, no way. God, you have to use me so that my existence to be a blessing. As you told me, Mr. Kwamba, that you really, you admire the work SHOFCO has done. Right? As, you know? Yes. So I think you meet guests, people who are like, I was poor, you know, to be a politician. I could be a politician if I wanted, right? Keep in Kibera, wanted him to be MP. Ask them up to now. You know my name, Mayor, right? I'm already a mayor of the city before, right? So for me, what really powerful for me, and I thank God for that, not to lose touch and know that my life has to give light to other people. That's what for me is unique. But otherwise, everybody tell you how much, I was poor, I went to school with those shoes, right? Right? So what? If your life cannot help other people, it's all about you and your family, I don't want to hear your story.
You don't hear that. But your story, Ken, is actually it's truly an amazing
Really?
story. Because I was actually coming to ask you this question.
Yeah.
You are here at Kenya Broadcasting Corporation.
Yes.
And you're having this conversation on the Books Cafe on KBC English service. And you are speaking impeccable English. But when I read your memoir, your schooling was also broken. Can you just very briefly touch on how you acquired the education?
That's interesting. So sometimes I struggle a little bit. So I really learned a lot of my work from the street. So I used to collect the newspapers, and I think, I'm joking here, but it's serious. But I think there's something about the Luos and English, right? In the blood. So I used to love big languages, right? So I could go, and I remember somebody gave me a dictionary, a priest. I won't forget that. So I could go, and then on the street, I could use those words I was reading, I don't remember going through vowels, all those things. Someone just made it, right? So, but what does that mean, my brother? I think it means when you are hungry, you are looking for something. I didn't wait to be given, okay? And up to now, I don't believe that. You have to be given something. You have to fight for it. So I fought for my education. I fought for my reading on the street. I don't know if any people start telling me, even in Kibera, some of them who listen to this story will tell you that when Wazungu were coming to Kibera, become a teenager, who was speaking to them? Even the gangs in Kibera are like, ongea nao kizungu, ile kubwa kubwa zako. Right? So you can tell. So I really love it, right? And my friend, the books. Let me bring back again the book for me. Life was tough. So when I said enough is enough and I got tired of it, we all concerned like, I want to leave being alcoholism. I want to leave drugs. Wrong. No. As a person went through it. What is that make you be alcoholic? What is that make you always 24 hours to be on drugs? Figure that root cause. What was for me? For me was pain. The pain of my brother, the pain of knowing that you don't know where the next food will come from. The pain of knowing that a stray bullet can kill you anytime. That's happened to our life, right? The pain of knowing that you will be killed by mob justice. So what do now? You want to run away from the reality. Are you together? So you end up now intoxicated. You are into these drugs and you feel happy at that moment. Like, I forgot my poverty, I'm high, right? Because anytime you are now not high, the reality of life is facing you. So that's why people do those things. Then I got something. Reading, my friend. I read. Because reading a novel takes me away from poverty, from pain, and I'm in that land. In my head, man, Nina Soma, I am there. I'm like, wow, maybe I'm in New York. So I'm reading about Marcus Garvey. I am there at that moment. So what happened to me? That took over. I believe in substituting. Okay? Change it. So instead of drugs, Kennedy, why can you take your books and just read and also get lost? By that, naongea kizungu kalikali, I am more empowered, I know what's happening, and even to meet my wife Jessica, it was not novel. I could have messed up. I'll tell you why. Because through the novel, I read Western culture. Okay? So I knew about Western culture. I knew about New York culture. Not TV, by reading novels. Fiction and non-fictions. So when you meet a woman in a Western world, and people do the same mistake, there, you don't say, I love you. Okay? If you say I love you, you're weird. You don't know me. So I read this from the novel. So when I met Jessica, I knew, okay, I'm going to do this mistake. Maybe in Mesoma Bana. Hey, Jessica, I like you. I like how you, because in the Western world, no rush. But in our culture, we have what's called jogi. We have a feeling. I love you, madam. And it's true, you're not lying. You feel it. Okay? Western world, they struggle with their feelings. It has to be, look at you have to scientifically correct. Like, I know you for 6 months. Now I can date. I know. Where in our culture, we have the jogi, we have the instinct. And that's how we behave in our culture. In Africa, I meet a woman and you think hey, I love you, you know. So my background of reading really helped me a lot to understand the world, right? So books became my alcohol. Books became my drugs. And it really helped me a lot. When I'm feeling down, I look for now. Anybody I meet some friends in Kibera when they're doing tourism, whatever, I'm like, hey, send me a book. Yeah, and as you know, from my book and tell, I read about Dr. King, almost all the books that exist about Dr. King. I know everything about Dr. King. Nelson Mandela, I read everything. And my guy called Marcus Mosiah Garvey, even my son is called after him, is someone that really inspired me. He's a man also, what I love about him, like he never went to school. He's a man who fought for his education. He loved reading. And he was a good orator. Speaks so well. And I'm like, look at Garvey. You know? And then so what I did also in my life now, you do what is called no mentors. When you're poor, poverty for me is you are invisible. You are useless. You're not important. Okay? Even now, let's be honest, to get a mentor, who will come to mentor a street boy? Who will come to mentor a kid from Madari? Who will want to, no way. Look around our society. You mentor presidents, so and so. You hear all the time in funeral. I mentored your son. It's a lit game. But I won't say no. So me, in my mind, I start talking to Marcus Garvey. And I was a little bit crazy, I know. I start talking to Mandela. What will you do on this? Right? So I get so obsessed with these leaders, Rosa Parks, you can see in my book, you know. So I started taking, like, I can't see them, but I'll be talking to them. Right? So and they became in a weird way, they became my mentor. I would lie to you. I really get into that.
Martin Luther King.
But I talk to Dr. King, but like this one-on-one in my head. Because I can't get a mentor. You are poor, okay? Yeah. So the message is that there is nothing to make you not make a progress in your life. There's no excuse.
You can always change.
You can always, and I believe you may not run, but always believe you can make a step and another step.
You can always squeeze some juice out of lemon.
Thank you. You cannot do that. Otherwise, you can keep on waiting and until the end of the world.
Great. So, before you got the scholarship to go to Wesleyan University in the States, you didn't have a proper formal education.
I didn't have, and then it was a challenge because I never even used much computer. So in the US, you have to type, okay? You have to, but at the same time, I saw myself as a tiger that has been locked, and you open the tiger door for freedom, my friend. This guy will go for anything, right? So for me, and then you have to in the US, what really helped me a lot, there's something they call professor time, the time to talk to the professor. I think they maybe do it in Kenya too, whereby from this time you go to the office. You know what, nobody was going. Well, me, I used to go. They're like office hours. I don't know the office hours for the professor. Nobody wanted to talk to them. So Kennedy Odede was there all the time. After a class, hey, professor, I didn't understand this more. You know? So without knowing that, you end up getting more knowledge and learning, and becoming really using my street social life for my education, coming close to the professors, So that also really helped me a lot. And sorry, I didn't know the book, which is so fun. So I remember when I was now going to I typed this. It was a sociology class. I think I typed it. Took me time. I save it. And then the last day, I need to print it. Do you know? Even I had no idea how the printer works. But I got to the library very early in the morning. At 6, I was in the library. Nobody was there. At 7:30, people started getting in the library. And I'm like, how can this thing come out in that? For me, that was magic. How can this thing printing thing here come out there? So this guy walks in, and I'm like, hey, can you help me? And I asked, his name is Ezra. I won't forget him. I have to know we are friends with Ezra. So Ezra opened for me, printed my paper. You know what I did for Ezra? I stood up, I gave Ezra a big hug. For him, was like, holy cow, what is happening? Who's this guy, right? So Ezra started asking people like, I just did a printing, and somebody, who's that guy? I just printing, and he gave me a big hug. I said, thank you so much, So that guy happened to be the what? To be the auditor of the university paper. For him, I wrote my story because of my hug. For him, he did something normal. For me, it was a big thing for me. He found out my story, like this guy came from Kibera. You don't know his story? This Kennedy. So that's how I also became known at the university. Yeah? So you can tell, and this is a mistake we are doing now in the society. People are scared of what they don't know. They want to pretend. For me, those who know me will tell you that. If I don't know, I don't know. Okay? And I think that's all part of my success with what I do. Because if I don't know anything, I don't want a fake life.
Kennedy, this is the moment that I would actually want you to read something from your book.
Yes. I wrote this book because I was scared I will lose the memory, because things for me were original, authentic. By the time I was going to America to study, my first time to get shower in the US, all those things, and life becoming normal. So I was scared that my life would be normal. And I would write a book again. Because your life is normal now, everything is normal. Oh, you are educated, you don't live in Kibera anymore. You know, there's no... So I thought, well, I wrote this book when I'm still green. She's the late Professor Ali Sadler, who was my close friend and professor. So she asked me, Kennedy, can we make for you a memoir class? So part of my chapters I wrote in college. A green Kennedy, 23 years old, in the first year in university, allowed to write. So I was writing my story, you know, and honestly, when I was writing this book, I also cried because I was writing parts of my life that were terrifying. It became also my therapy, Yeah. So, and then agenda of the book, don't forget, and how can this book inspire other young people, okay, who are going through where you are going before, yes, right? Yes. So that's it, because if they don't know your story, because as you know in Kenya, now they're changing. People have to show you the other side of them. Like, and you can say, this book, I'm really dirty. In this book, I expose myself too much, right? But you can see people try to be something else. Oh, I'm cool, I went to America, blah, 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 you know. But my story was that it is my story. And I'll be honest with you. And I say, when I read this book, I said, what am I writing? It was like, I want you, Oringa, to walk with me. Don't say anything. Just walk with me. This is the book. I'm not coming here to teach you anything. You want to know my life? Shh, from the village. Walk with me. This is how you do things, you know? So it's more about observing than being critical. So this book is just having you come and be like, okay, Oringa, you want to know about what I went through as a life? This is it. Maybe soon I'll write another book about this critical, what I think about poverty, blah, blah. So here it's just pure. It's just like, okay, Kennedy life, what's happening? So street life, you know, you understand about Chokora? Really? Oh, Chokora. You are with me, my friend? You are deep in Chokora life. Okay? Oh, we are using our drug, everything. So it's a journey. So that's what the book is. So the book is very powerful in terms of just showing you my life. Not being critical, showing who I am, this is my life, okay? And yeah, so that's it. So in this book, I want to read for you in Me Unafraid. This is a chapter, this is page 163. Where I love this part. I love everything in this book, but this for me is very powerful.
Why do you love it?
Yes, I love this because at this moment, Kennedy has no money. But Kennedy is starting a movement that is called SHOFCO now. Just remember this. Has employed 2,500 people, staff. Is in 35 counties. It has offices in New York, offices in Germany and London. And now is the beginning. And now I've been inspired by Dr. King, all these people, and I want to read what I picked from my friend, Honorable Marcus Garvey. So, we're a group of people who are not fully convinced about SHOFCO starting. So I'm trying to convince them. So let me read for you. So we are sitting together, and I say, hey guys, my friends, Marcus Garvey taught me that circumstance should not make us inferior. Well, that's interesting because as a Kiberian, where there's poverty, we have no idea of hope, right? Then I continue. He says that we must remove the cobwebs of our minds. And it is this mentality that we will never make it out of poverty ourselves. on our own. That is the first cobweb to remove. Interesting. What does that mean? We are so poor, we cannot do anything. So Marcus Garvey tells us that we have to really, everything is about mental shift. If you cannot change that, you can't. So I'm telling my community here, the first youth group of people. Then I post, then I continue. We don't need money to come together and clean our streets. We don't need money to remove the garbage. We don't need money to protect our mothers, our sisters, or any little girls from being abused. We don't need money to play soccer, football, and just to be there for each other. As I spoke, tears came from my eyes. I tried to hide them, but down they came. The group saw them and understood how serious this was, how much this mattered. We cannot wait for money. I continued. This is urgent. We are coming here today for action. We are not coming here today to start an NGO, because NGOs need proposal and donors. We are here today to start a movement. When you have been pushed to the wall and all you can do is bounce back, that's what we are doing here. We are bouncing back. They all look at me and I thought of my mom saying, when a snake bites you, don't spend time looking for a spear. Use whatever stick you have. Then Mary spoke. Kennedy, I'm with you. Kennedy, I'm there. My friend George said, I may not believe your big ideas are possible, but as a brother, I support you. Let me know what I can do. We will work together. That's affirmed Kevin. Mm-hmm. Together we developed a list of challenges we faced. We only had one pen, and Kevin uses it to write down everything. I started crime, violence, domestic abuse, and rape. And someone said, hopelessness, sanitation. So if I stop from there just to give you something about this. So yes. You can see. You can see there was no godfathers. You can see there was no white people who were waiting to come to save us from the global north.
Yes, yes.
But you can see that we have the anger in us. We have the conviction in us. Mm-hmm. And leadership is all about what you're feeling and transferring to the other people. Mm-hmm. So already I felt it after reading Marcus Garvey, after reading stories of Dr. King, Mandela, struggle, you can make it. But they're not with me. You can tell. They're not with me. They're like, this guy is crazy. Kennedy akokwa amechoma nini, eh? Maybe, who knows? But no. But the idea was to make them believe in themselves. Because if they believe, you can have that conviction. Mm-hmm. You know? Mm-hmm. So that's how SHOFCO started. So for me, that chapter is very powerful because you can see, do you need money to clean the street? Do you need money to protect our girls?
No.
That's why I love it.
It's a powerful story. What is it that drove you to go to the street, and how was the street life like for you? And what were you doing there?
So there's a couple of things happening here. Mm-hmm. So I have two sides of what moved me to SHOFCO. One was when on the street, and I'll be clear with you. Mm-hmm. On the street, Soringa, there is no hope, my brother. Mm-hmm. On the street, you are ready. Raw Jew. I'm sorry to say that, right? In that time, you are now ready. Being there is taught. It doesn't taught you. You know you're gonna die. Have you ever seen? Rarely you see them. Have you ever seen a middle-aged street person? Ugonjwa, everything. There's no doctor. There, you know. And I don't understand. You can eat the bad food, apple, garbage. I'm not kidding you. You know, I don't know where the doctor is invisible. Okay? So that life, you are there, not because you want, but because you are prepared to die. When they come and take your phone, and you say you want to shoot, in their mind, they are ready for that. If you don't know this, in their mind, they are ready for that. When you are doing a mission, you're not going there for fun. These people, do they even have a radio?
No, let me get this. You are saying that when a street boy, when somebody, these street boys that we see, you know, they have come to that point, they say that there's nothing.
Baya.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Yes.
That I'm ready to die.
Yes.
So if they snatch your phone, and, you know, it's not that they already know.
They already know it's gonna go bad, it's gonna go yes. Yes. So you already know. So because they already know. And I'll be honest with you again, and I also had to work on it to be a good person, because there's a lot of anger. This country we're living in is a country of class. And that's why I think SHOFCO was very powerful for me. So I took what's happening in America and I brought it to Kenya. In Kenya is class. A black man against a black man. Yeah, eat dog society. In the US was white versus black. In the US, white could have better education. If you kill a white person, you will be arrested by FBI investigation. Here, if you kill a chokora, if you kill somebody from Kibera, story kwisha. But if you kill a child from Udaiga, Karen, story on the paper. Right? So we are kind of class. So we also make us angry. We see how big car you are driving. And then something I also hated, and up to now, I know I don't do it, but I'm telling you, who are you the God? That if I ask you for money, atikupatia pesa, ndakupatia chakula. Where ni nani? My friend, you want to go back to your house, you have drugs. Ambayo allowed by government, inaitwa aje, ni Panadol, aspirin. Nimechoka nilale kidogo, Mimi wachana mimi glue yangu. Hiyo ndio drug yangu, my brother. Wachana mimi. So you are here to judge me, to tell me like I want to give you money because utatumia kwa drugs. And I'm like, that's argument. I never argue that argument. Don't judge me. Give me for that money. Give it to me banana, okay? Okay, if I'm hungry, sindano chakula. But already we think we know. You know nothing. My friend, unalala kwa mvua. Unakula na mboto. Mboto nini wa kizungu? Anyway, I don't know those things. Things that eat your body, You need to be 444 dead, bana, right? You want to be there, So you need something, man. You need something to survive. Okay? But somebody want to tell you like, wait, kijana, utanunua hiyo glue, chukua hii chakula. Okay? That is our life. And I say, let me take Oringa kwa street truth kumoja. Hakuna glue, hakuna kitu yote, hakuna petroleum, hakuna drugs yote. Nataka tuishi ya ulale. Boss, hautalala. Okay? And when this person asking you and you are like judging, and I think that's the thing we need to learn. We are not police. We are not God. If you have, give it. If you don't want, don't tell him what. You don't know their life. Okay? So for me, it was a hard life. I say, I want to Murphy. Yeah, poop. I tell people, why? You are so clean, you have expensive watch, but you can't care about me. You care about yourself. So if you care about yourself, hey, weka hapo pesa ama nikumwagie kitu. So you utaweka pesa. Because you care about yourself, you know. Hakuna utu. You don't have that thing, you know. You want to judge, you know. Even now, I'm still mad at people up to now. Sikudanganyi. Oh, hawa watu wa Kibera. Oh, those people in Kibera. I sit with them sometime in these places nowadays, and they don't get it. You know, these people, we are those people. We forget humanity. We are one. It's all, from the book, is all about circumstances. And then one thing I hate, you know, it's easy to have money. People don't think I don't know this. You know, it's easy. So you steal money. See, they're stealing in Kenya, yeah. They're stealing money. You can do prostitution. You can make money. So there are many dirty ways of making money. But now, or your grandfather stole money. And now he was a corrupt person. And now you are living a clean life, right? But the thing that's happening, my brother, is that we think we know. They are lazy. They won't tell you. Talk to this elite in Kenya. They are lazy. Because they don't understand the struggle. My friend, poverty is a lock. You have no idea, Odede now, in Kenya, which offices I can open. I can go to. I swear to you. I can get into State House. I can meet anyone in Kenya. Right? I take it for granted. I won't lie to you. Do you know it takes to a poor woman in Kibera to get an ID? to go and get a passport. That bureaucracy. And you're telling them they're lazy. Poverty is enclosement. Your world is enclosed. And most of the time, they end up marrying among themselves. It's a system. It's a system. Okay? So if you don't understand, just say you don't understand. So people really, makes me painful. People go through a lot. So chokora, street boy, people who are poor, you don't understand their life. If you never live their life, who are you to judge? How watu maskini hapa? Wanasumbua watu sana. Boss, you go there, that life. And that's why you see, we make joke of it. If you see, let's be honest, you see these people from Kibera, Madare, going to demonstrations, and you're seeing a police cocking, and they're telling you, ooh. They're not joking. My friend, you don't know where the school fees of your kid will come from. Okay? And then we are so angry with the society. A politician calling me to go out doesn't mean I really love a politician. Just to let me be clear to you. I don't know. They give me a chance to show my anger to the system. Are you together? So every time you see a poor person on the street being called, because they care, poor people can organize themselves to go to the city. I believe so. But they never do that. Okay, there'll be one person, two people be like, hey, I'm here, we are going to the street. It's because those on the street, if you ask them well, they are hopeless. And they know when they go to that street. I'm not kidding you. From Kibera, you know them. They know I may not come, but it's a good excuse. You know, one thing people don't know this. So when I was suffering, nikisha boeka tu, me and my friend, there's something we love. I won't lie to you. We love this thing. Now, tunaogopa kidogo now, but we used to love it. So, do you know death? Kifo was the best in my past life. Boss, nasikia tajiri amekufa. I'm like, ay, kifo ndio mzuri bwana. And when they die. And we both die. That really made me so happy. Ati akuna tuko na pesa, unakufa, unaamka tena. Right? It's like gone. You are chokora from Kibera, umekufa. You are a rich man from Karen, umekufa, umeenda. So for us, death was equalizer. I'm serious. Yeah? So that's the life we live. So that's why we never get scared. Those who are scared of death, uko na fridge kwa nyumba. Uko na pesa kwa account. Think about this. And I'll make you get it in a simple way. Kina bill wako na nyumba wapi Nairobi analipa mortgage mtoto anasoma you have shamba, you have shares, you don't want to die, right? Think about that. Death is scary. You are making money from corrupt deals, you don't want to die, but that's one story. Another story, you have zero. Mpaka viatu hauna, hiyo moja na vatu hakuna manguo, wewe unaona kudharau. My friend, death ikikuja sawa. And it's called what? Lack of hope. Because hope is something that you live towards to.
Wow.
I'm done.
I would want you to read another section of the book that you had actually pointed out.
Wow. Okay. There was Stephen stopped me and said, Kennedy, it seems like you want to start a non-profit, an NGO, and we are ready to support you. But where is the money coming from? Do you have a mzungu any donor? That's interesting. I felt the blood rise in me for too long. My community had been told that we could not do anything by ourselves without money from the outside, without the financial support and wisdom from the Western world. But since we were the ones who understood all the challenges we faced, we also had the best shot at finding the solutions. So here I can tell my brother that I believe in the grassroots solutions, and also SHOFCO does that now. And I said, Marcus Garvey said, Africa for Africans, and that is what I wanted. African problems will never be solved as long as advantaged people from the Western world thought that they could save our communities by starting organizations or volunteering in Africa. without the actual and deep engagement of the communities they sought to improve. Without mutual understanding and real community leadership, foreign-led interventions ultimately do not succeed. They just create false hopes and take advantage of the community's vulnerability. The community also takes advantage of volunteers, seeking a quick fix, a tiny drop of money. But money alone does nothing. I knew grassroots empowerment was only sustainable solution. My mother always said that only he who wears the shoes knows what it pinches. Thank you.
That is your mother, Ajay.
Yes, yeah, Jay.
Ajay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whoever wears the shoes knows where it pinches. Yes. So as I said before, we were talking about the street life, poverty. We don't know. So what do you want to talk about? What do you want to judge? They wear the shoes. Your shoes now you're wearing, my brother, you know where it pinches. I don't know. It can be the toe, it can be the back. Right? So why do I come to know your life better? Thank you.
So, so from there, you started this SHOFCO.
Yes, which we'll talk about it. Yeah, after Bill is going to read something, right?
Yes, I want Bill to actually read. Yeah.
So I like that when you say that Bill to read it. So maybe it's for our audience to know who is Bill. So
yes,
Bill, welcome. So Bill is when I was living in Kibera,
yes.
I got into reggae music, roots and culture. And I think there was a time that Metro was started. Bill was one of the first presenters, and it became the music of hope, music of teachings, right? And Bill, I used to call every, they used to call me ranking, Odede. I used to call in the morning for the show, which music I want, and I used to tell him what's happening in the community. There's fire, there is traffic, all those things. He got information from me. So Bill and I, we met later in life, and he's someone I respect. He knows my journey with ghetto life and with reggae. So this is Bill. Yes.
Good introduction.
He's actually, just to say that he's one of our senior colleagues at radio.
He doesn't believe it, so no, he's had it from
Okay.
I'm actually senior.
How do I get to you?
He's actually ranking because, number 3 after the top.
Ranking, man.
So Bill will actually read from where sometimes Mandela has a favorite poem, and then you go.
Yes.
Sometimes.
So thank you for the privilege of reading this. So sometimes Mandela has a favorite poem. So these are the words of Kennedy. I read it when I'm afraid. Do you want to hear it? Of course, I say, intrigued. He leans over to grab a tattered book and opens right to the page he seeks. Invictus by William Ernest Henley. He begins formal as a schoolboy, becoming impassioned as he goes. Out of the night that covers me, black as the peat from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I've not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with circumstance the scroll, I'm the master of my fate. I'm the captain of my soul.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Bill, for reading that. I like your English.
No, Kennedy.
Yes.
I speak it from my heart. I've done this program for more than 10 years. I've read many books. And when I read a good book, I know I've read a good book. And I recommend it. Because I want the listener to share the thrill or the lessons that I've picked from that book.
Yes.
And that's why I tell those ones who are listening onto the Books Cafe today, grab a copy of that book called Find Me Unafraid by Kennedy Odede and Jessica Posner. So let's talk about SHOFCO. You have this conversation with your friends from the slums, and then you say that, come on, we are not going to wait for manna from heaven. Let us try and do something for ourselves. And you started this organization, A Shining Hope for Communities.
Yes.
Okay? So what is SHOFCO? What does SHOFCO does?
So SHOFCO, originally there was no SHOFCO. There was Shining Hope for Communities, right? And I love that name because, as I told you before, the idea of hope. Because I think for me, hope is everything. What are you striving for? Why are you Why are you surviving? You must have hope, right? It keeps you on. It's like something like you, right? It's there. Hata kama ushiki, lakini you're going towards it. Right? That's for me. That's hope. So, but people didn't like the name, especially in Kibera. They're like, Kizungu Mingi. That's too much English, Kennedy. So I got so stressed, I got the book, and I went back to think about it. So I wanted to keep the shining of community because I love that hope that is shining. Then I played it, and I got the number, the SHOFC. Oh, SHOFCO. So I went around Kibera asking women who are selling fruits and vegetables, what about SHOFCO? And everybody loved the name, SHOFCO, SHOFCO, SHOFCO. I'm like, Luos, Luya, Kamba, like, we are in. We love this. So up to now, just to give you a warning, if you go to Kibera, which is our headquarters, and you say, I'm looking for shining hope for communities, you might have a challenge to find us. I know. You will not. You will have a challenge. You'll be surprised. But women, youth, kids, you say SHOFCO, they don't know what it's meaning, but yes, SHOFCO here to 20. Okay? So that's how the name SHOFCO came from. Right? So that's what is known in the community. You cannot, that's how we, even though there's a problem, you wear that hat of SHOFCO, my friend, you'll be safe. Believe me. It is a homegrown organization. Yes. So right now, people are confusing SHOFCO because, and it's kind of sad, because they see SHOFCO, which I say is employed over 2,500 staff countrywide, right? With offices in Europe, New York, whatever. So what happened is people think it's a normal NGO. And I don't like that. We are not. Okay? And I'm proud about this. You tell me which organization that's been national that was started by the poor people themselves. People who are wearing that shoes I talk about. This is SHOFCO. A dream of teenagers who had a dream that they want to transform their life and the life of their community. And we knew Kibera is just a case study. Honestly, I think we didn't know what the word case study by then, but I think we knew that in our emotion. Like, if it works in Kibera, the ghettos in Madara will be like, hey, you want to be part of that movement. And then the ghettos in Kariobangi, whatever, will pick it. So from even my George, my friend, wanted to call it Kibera Stars Hope, whatever. And I said, no. This thing is big thing, man, bigger than Kibra, man. This thing is, And I used to see these big NGOs. And I also love their story. I won't say their names. Because they were started by a white man during World War, right? And now it is in Kenya. So I'm like, can we also create our own story? There is a big institution that is a movement in Kenya that was started by people living in Kibera slum. And it became a hope, right? Why not? Why do you have to wait anything to come from Wazungu land? So SHOFCO, from there, we did small things like cleaning the sports, those kind of things. And it started growing like that. So right now, it was started for the ghetto people, I won't lie. And my friend, if you go to Vihiga, Kakamega, it has gone beyond. So SHOFCO is now in the villages, helping the farmers, anybody who is vulnerable in the society is part of the movement. So we are in Kakamega, we are in Vihiga, we are in Kilifi, we are in 35 counties, Marsabit, right? And people connect to it. It's people's movement, honestly. Okay? It works like this. We don't come and tell you what to do. It has a wing called SUN, SHOFCO Urban Network, a network of youth groups, women group, and they do their own elections of community leaders. Then they say, SHOFCO, if you want to work with the community, our issues here is gender-based violence. You see? Then we just implement. They say here, the issue is health. We work on the health. So I wanted to listen from the ground. Okay, instead of coming from New York, being like, I know the answers. And up to now, Aringa, I still believe that, I don't know. They know better than me. The mistake we do, as I do this work, is, I won't say too much, because I'm getting into politics. If this health care system that you are launching is not working, my friend, it could be easy. Just go to Kibera, policymaker, just go to the village. If you go to us, how do you think that next thing to work? Oh, it's be called SHA, it'll be called this. We want it to be like this. You see? And then take that thing and then we'll build something for national. We are still doing the same mistake of top, bottom. And that's why we are suffering most of the time. And we have simple solutions. Hawa watu wa chini, my friend, they have the answers. Just tell them, hey, I want to create for you a health insurance. Okay? How? You mama mboga. You boda. How do you want to go? You know? So that's what I believe the leadership is. By listening to those people who have been neglected. If you listen to them, they have the solutions. They have the answers. You can be a policy maker on top there, my friend, you are wrong. You can create something for the majority, who I think the people who live under $3 will be serious. I think they're around 60% in Kenya, right? Imagine those people, and in Nairobi here, 50% live in informal settlement, right? More than 50%. Talk to them, what is the solution? And then amplify their solution. You know? So SHOFCO came with that. And that's why you see our work is successful most of the time, because we listen to what they want. I want to come to Khaenga O'Okwemba. If you come to Kibera, you will see our water tower. And we'll be like, Kennedy, you are genius. Water inapita juu ya hewa. Kulikuwa na switch hapa chini, water inapita juu. Tusema, how is it happening? I won't lie to you. Who am I? Hey, boss. No. What is about World Bank, aziendangi mahali, tunazikatakata hapa. Na hapa chini kuna sewage. We get disease, because inashikana na hizi muffin, unapata ugonjwa. Why can't we find a way maji kama steamer? And I'm like, wow, that's a good idea. Maybe think about that. So right now you come to Kibra, you will see our water pipes on roofs. And it's clean. Ikitoboka unaona pale. It's also made a computer. You can see which tank imejaa. So local solution are the way to go.
To local problems.
To local problems.
Great. So,
yeah, man.
So that's SHOFCO. So
yes.
It's 35 counties.
Yes.
So what are some of the things that you do?
Yes, so, oh my God, we do a couple of things. SHOFCO is a movement, as I said. So right now, we are giving over 10,000 scholarships. These are girls who could not go to school. And also, we have brought my college. I love this program. It's called Second Chance. So kama ulizaa, you had a baby, and you drop out of school, we take you back to school. It's amazing.
It's amazing. I saw some of those.
Yeah, I went with Bill together to see what schools we work with. It's just powerful for me that you should have a chance in life, right? Another thing we do, I'm a beloved of books, right? And right now, we are able to make sure we have libraries. Because when I was in Kibera, I used to struggle to read, right? Where to go? Jua Kali, I have to go to the hill, right? So the first library we had was called Marcus Garvey Library in Katakera, Kibera. Iko hapo mpaka wale Bill saw it. So Marcus Garvey, to remember him. Then we have that library. We also help women who want to start their own life. So they go back to, they do sewing. We give them money to start businesses like that. We give scholarships. We help youth to go to in technical colleges. So they go to start businesses. Yeah. And health, we have programs of health across the country. Now, if you want to know this cholera, it's SHOFCO. Because in the slum, we give the data to the government. During the same thing, during COVID, we're the one, something is not, data, so we share, we can go very closely.
You complement.
Yes, the government, yeah. So we can tell them with the outbreak of Kibera, of cholera in this area. They come to SHOFCO to know Kibera, inafanyika hapo. So the data shows people have been having cholera, so there's a cholera, this number, right? So we work that on health. We have like 6 health clinics in Kibera and Madari. The rest we work with government facilities with support in other counties. Then another thing I think is big is, I think I also believe in economic empowerment. So when people come together, they are powerful. So we came together to start a very powerful circle that has over almost $1 billion. Pesa ya maskini. Wameweka pamoja and they borrow, and we are one of the most successful circle in Kenya, called SHOFCO Circle, which is now independent from SHOFCO. It's managed by their board of directors, but the mother was SHOFCO. So now I don't want to, there's no complaint. Ya kwamba si mimi ni maskini. I'm like, wacha mchezo. Ndio hii circle. And if you're a young person in that circle, you borrow 6% interest only. Can you believe? You're at the age of 35. Yeah? 6%.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
And youths have gotten jobs, women have gotten jobs. Bill have seen some of the work we do. Yeah, so for me it's all about taking community out of poverty. and you can't do it yourself. They have to take themselves up.
Are you saying that then it's just a matter of time before all the bad stories that we've actually been hearing from Kibra are going to vanish from the face of the earth, because this organization is this movement is supposed to transform people in that slum?
Yeah, so let's not forget the role of the government too, right? But I'll be honest with you, people in Kibra can tell you how their life have changed. First, there was no roads, which we really advocate with the other general body, whatever. So now you go, Kibra, there's roads, right? And President Ruto is doing also upgrading of housing, right? So I think with time, you can have a housing, but you are poor. But I think in future, my feeling is that people will decide to live in Kibera or live out of Kibera. That's what we are looking forward to. Not because you don't have nowhere to go. That's why you are there.
Kennedy.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I want you to just say something to that little boy out there, not just in the slum, in the village.
Thank you. Yeah, greetings. And I'm talking to, I think, anyone who is going through something, but especially those who are seeing they have reached the wall, right? And there is something beautiful, but we never been told. I think going through hardship in the village with a single mother or poor parents, don't know where to go next. I think right now you are creating a history. And what I love about Rastafarism was they taught us something called I story. History is their story, I story, So I really wanted to create what I call I story, which is my story, my story. And honestly, look back. Your story will not be powerful if what you're going through now is not possible. So there's a boring life that's going on here, whereby you're a child, you get everything from mommy and daddy. You want a job, you get. You want money, you get, right? How is this kid going to be strong out there? So those who are going through struggle, where to get their next meal, their next bread, right? Or something in your life, and you feel you cannot move anymore, don't give up. You are creating a story that will inspire other people. You will remember me for this. One day you will look back and say, oh my God, wow, I am so happy I went through that. I am so happy I went through that marriage. I am so happy I went through that leadership. I am so happy I went through that job that was abused. Because teach me, teacher, So everything in life is a teacher. See everything as don't give up when you're having a teacher. So life is teaching you, and I believe that life is preparing you for the next. So right now, to run SHOFCO in Europe, in Kenya, we're also going to start SHOFCO in South Africa. Think about the things I face in life. If it was not my poverty in Kibera and what I went through, I don't think I could handle this. Right? But because I went through frying pan to the fire, that fire has enabled me not to be scared of much thing. And knowing that what I believe in, honestly, is you have to find your center. You have to be a prayerful person if you want. You have to know what makes you happy, is music, You have to go back deep in yourself, and don't make anything with rush. Okay? And sometimes I don't believe in fighting back. If people are abusing you and looking down on you, I think you should just take that and use us to work harder. And as I said before, everything is just a single step by step, and life will be different. When I was in Kibera and life was hard, I remember there's something I love, and it's called, there's daylight and dark night, whatever, usiku, darkness. But what really made me so happy is that I am in this darkness, but for sure the clock is ticking and the dawn gonna come. But just knowing that in life, like it will not be the same. There's nothing stand still, right? So I always knew that I'm in this darkness, but soon, I don't know when, there's a glimpse of light. Ikitoka hapo dawn inaingia and the daylight, right? And then also wards me also. When I'm so happy and I'm like, oh my God, times 100. Oh, SHOFCO is doing well. I'm like, Kennedy, it's a daylight. We also be prepared for the night. right? So that's the challenges in life. That's what happened, you know. So the life is a circle. And if the life was only one way, could be a boring life. You are happy 24 hours, right? So wherever you are going through, remember, the clock is ticking. And there is the light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you.
And with that, we've come to the end of our conversation with Kennedy Odede, the author of this wonderful memoir, Find Me Unafraid, a book that he co-authored with his wife, Jessica Posner. It's the story of a young boy who grew up in the slums of Kibra, tried to escape the hardship in the slums, went onto the streets of Nairobi. Life there was even more terrifying. But he lived to tell the story in this book, Find Me Unafraid, like in the words of the Nobel literature winner Gabriel Garcia Marquez, living to tell the tale. Kennedy Odede lived to tell the tale in this book, Find Me Unafraid. I was your host, Khaenga O'Okwemba. Until next time, it's goodbye for now.